Grand afternoon and grand evening to all you beautiful souls of light. Welcome back. I am Cindy Lorraine Grace, and I am with CLG Viewpoint. It's Sunday, February 23rd, 2025. I've been away for a few days. I've been a little sick, but I'm so much better now. I went on an alkaline diet and did a lot of cleansing and juicing. My celery juice. And the recovery was so much quicker. And I feel a lot better, but still taking my time. And I'm so happy to be back to share some of these articles with you today. Well, we are going to discuss alkaline diet, further into the alkaline diet. Third U.S. plane with deportees lands in India. BC's free drugs experiment has left many dead. And the Crusaders wants it shut down. The BC free drugs experiment, they want it shut down. An RCMP conduct board rejects claim that calling officers 3 amigos showed bias. And today's Inspirational Soul of Light is a story. Saturday morning, I woke up and my head was just full of words. I had to go write these words down on paper and pen, and I create a little story. This is my first little story called The Unforgettable Star Seed, and I hope you enjoy it. That'll be at the end of the segment today. And each segment, I start with a sage clearing. It's a tongue twister today. Anyways, here we go. Now, this is to clear out all the negative energies. Only divine love and divine lights are welcomed here. To all low energy entities, you are healed, forgiven, enlightened, and sent back to your perfect place. And so it is. And you are escorted back by my spiritual guides. First video we'll start with is on alkaline foods for your health, the best eclectic foods by Dr. Sebi, approved food list.
Hello and welcome. Today, we're diving into the world of alkaline veganism inspired by the legendary Dr. Sebi. Whether you're new to this lifestyle or a seasoned pro, this video has something for everyone. We'll explore the basics of Dr. Sebi's recommended alkaline foods and their incredible health benefits. First, let's understand the basics of Dr. Sebi's alkaline diet. It's all about embracing a plant-based, alkaline lifestyle that focuses on the body's natural pH balance. This diet primarily consists of fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. The key is to avoid highly processed and acidic foods. Now, let's explore some of the incredible benefits these foods offer. For those new to alkaline veganism, here's a more detailed list of foundational foods recommended by Dr. Sebi. Leafy greens. Foods like kale, spinach, and collard greens are not only packed with vitamins and minerals but also high in chlorophyll. This nutrient boosts oxygen levels in the blood, increasing energy, aiding digestion, and reducing inflammation. Fruits. Enjoy an abundance of alkaline fruits such as bananas, berries, and melons. These fruits provide essential vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants, offering benefits like boosted immune system, improved skin health, and protection against chronic diseases. Nuts and seeds. Almonds, walnuts, and chia seeds are excellent sources of healthy fats, protein, and fiber. They support heart health by reducing bad cholesterol levels, aid in weight management, and enhance brain function. Grains. Opt for whole grains like quinoa and wild rice, which are rich in fiber and essential nutrients. They provide sustained energy, improve digestion, and help regulate blood sugar levels. Herbs and spices. Herbs like basil and spices like turmeric are potent anti-inflammatory agents that also possess antioxidant properties. These ingredients can help reduce inflammation and oxidative stress in the body. Now, for our seasoned alkaline vegans, consider these advanced foods. Sea vegetables. Dulse, nori, and wakame are nutrient-dense, mineral-rich sea vegetables. They're known to support thyroid function and detoxification, thanks to their high iodine content. Soursop. This tropical fruit, also known as graviola, is believed to have cancer-fighting properties. It's rich in antioxidants, and consuming it can enhance your overall immune system, potentially preventing or helping in the treatment of various ailments. Electric cell food. Dr. Sebi's unique herbal compounds, such as Irish sea moss and bladderwrack, are known to provide overall vitality and boost the immune system. They are loaded with minerals and can help with conditions ranging from skin issues to respiratory ailments. Wildcrafted foods. Foragers and experienced alkaline vegans often include wildcrafted foods like dandelion greens and burdock root in their diets. These foods are exceptional detoxifiers and known to possess powerful healing properties for various health issues, including liver health and skin conditions. Now, let's discuss in more detail some common health issues that alkaline foods can help address. Inflammation. Alkaline foods are anti-inflammatory, making them effective in reducing joint pain, swelling, and stiffness. They contain compounds like polyphenols and flavonoids that help modulate the body's inflammatory response, alleviating symptoms of conditions such as arthritis. Digestive health. A diet rich in fiber from alkaline foods can support a healthy digestive system. Fiber promotes regular bowel movements, reducing the risk of constipation and indigestion. The digestive enzymes found in these foods can enhance nutrient absorption and ease gastrointestinal discomfort. Detoxification. Many of these foods help your body eliminate toxins, promoting overall wellness. They support the liver's natural detoxification processes, reducing the burden on this vital organ and potentially aiding in the prevention or treatment of liver-related issues. Immune boost. The alkaline diet can enhance your immune system by providing essential vitamins and minerals that strengthen your body's defense mechanisms. An optimized immune system is better equipped to fend off infections and diseases, providing better protection against common illnesses. Weight management. Alkaline foods are naturally low in calories and high in fiber, making them excellent choices for weight management. They help control appetite, reduce calorie intake, and support healthy, sustainable weight loss. In conclusion, whether you're just starting or have been on this journey for a while, Dr. Sebi's alkaline vegan diet offers numerous health benefits. By choosing the right foods and avoiding highly processed options, you can transform your health and well-being. Always consult with a healthcare professional before making significant dietary changes, especially if you have specific health concerns.
Actually, that diet really helped me these last few days that I was not feeling well. It helped get rid of most of the mucus. I'm still working on that and still juicing lots. And yeah, that's something to try if you're not feeling well or even just for extra energy. It really did help me a lot. Anyways, we're now on to international news. RT News, February 17th, 2025. Third U.S. plane with deportees lands in India. The C-17 military aircraft carried 112 Indian nationals expelled amid Trump's crackdown on immigration. A U.S. aircraft carrying a third batch of Indian nationals deported from the U.S. landed in Amritsar, Punjab, in northern India on Sunday. It comes days after Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi traveled to Washington to meet with the U.S. President Donald Trump, who has promised millions of deportations in his second term. The flight had approximately 112 individuals on board, according to local media reports, with the majority hailing from the northern state of Haryana. While 44 of the deportees were from Haryana, 33 were from Gujarat, Modi's home state, and 31 were from Punjab. The remainder were from other states. The deportees will be allowed to return to their homes after completing all necessary procedures, including immigration processing, verification, and background checks, sources told NDTV. The first U.S. military C-17 transport aircraft carrying 104 Indians landed in Amritsar was on February the 5th. A second plane landed. Video released by the U.S. authorities after the first plane left showed people being held in handcuffs and leg restraints, sparking widespread outrage in India. In response, the Indian government stated that it was engaging with Washington to ensure that the deportees are not subject to any mistreatment. India reacts to U.S. move to deport illegal immigrants. Indian External Affairs Minister stated in the Indian Parliament that the deportations have been an ongoing process for several years, as in the past, with no deviations from established protocols. The U.S. Embassy has commented that it is, quote, the policy of the United States to faithfully execute the immigration laws against all inadmissible and removable aliens, close quote. The issue of illegal migrants from India to the U.S. was raised by Trump in his telephone conversation with Modi in January and reportedly figured in last week's talks. A joint statement said the leaders agreed to address concerns related to illegal immigration and human trafficking, quote, through cooperative efforts, close quote. Modi told the White House press that India is willing to take back its nationals if they are illegally in the U.S. and mentioned a need to halt the ecosystem of human trafficking. Personal thoughts. Do you think that this is a worldwide crackdown on illegal immigration and human trafficking under natural law? BC's free drugs experiment has left many dead. This crusader wants it shut down. Eleanor Sturko is a former cop who says safe supply has left a trail of heartbreak in BC. She calls it a betrayal of public trust. Author of this article is Donna Kennedy Glanz, Global News Special to National Post, published on February 16, 2025. One dad I met with early on, said BC Eleanor Sturko, talked to me about his young teen daughter. Excuse me, I just have to have a drink of water. His teen daughter had died of fentanyl overdosed. And when they cleaned out her room afterwards, they found a bunch of diverted safe supplies still in the capsule bottles with other people's prescriptions. The name of the prescribing doctor, the name of the pharmacy, close quote. More than 49,000 Canadians have died of fentanyl overdoses since 2016. 49,000. Earlier this week, former RCMP Deputy Commissioner Kevin Brosseur was appointed Canada's fentanyl czar. Everyone's watching to see what that will entail. Before that, in 2020, British Columbia attempted to tackle the problem, becoming the first jurisdiction in the world to launch a safer opioid supply policy, allowing individuals at high risk of overdose access to pharmaceutical-grade opioids free of charge. For Eleanor, a former RCMP officer and now member of the BC legislature representing the citizens of Surrey, Cloverdale, BC's experimental policy is a massive failure. Quote, they were marketed as a safe supply, close quote. She says in a recent conversation, quote, don't worry, these are clean drugs. It's government drugs. Nothing can happen to you. They quickly became dependent. And when that was no longer meeting their needs, they transitioned to fentanyl. Some of those people died of fentanyl overdoses, close quote. A leaked BC Ministry of Health PowerPoint presentation confirms what many have known for some time. Quote, taxpayer-funded safe supply drugs. Repeat that. Taxpayer-funded safe supply drugs. Flooding the streets, enriching organized crime. In some cases with diversion fraudulently facilitated by pharmacies and medical professionals, reads the BC Conservative Caucus on February the 5th. Donald Trump has even singled out BC as a source of illegal opioid trafficking. It's a betrayal of public interest or trust, Eleanor concludes, and her call to action is stern. Not surprisingly, Eleanor is discreet about how the report was leaked. Quote, I knew that it existed, that it was coming, and it did not come directly to me. But I'm grateful for the person or persons who decided to do that, because this is an incredibly important piece of information for the public to have, just to understand the extent of the cover-up and disinformation campaign that's been carried out by the government since 2020, when the risk mitigation guidelines came into effect. Quote, the last 6 months of 2020, they dispensed 577,000 opioid pills. That's 577,000 opioid pills in the 2 years between 2022 and 2024. It was over 22 million between those 2 years. It's humiliating, she says. How many people are living in British Columbia, for goodness sake? It's giving people giant buckets full of hydromorphone to dump it into the community harm reduction. No, she says. Quote, charges of drug trafficking were laid against the two founders and operators of this organization, she says. And a month later, Bonnie Henry publishes her most recent report, which calls for expansion of safe supply into non-prescription models, including a recommendation of potentially having crack cocaine, crystal meth, and all these drugs available in retail stores. If you ignore COVID, if you ignore everything and simply focus on how our public health officer has handled the opioid overdose crisis that we have here, the public emergency, you would see some really concerning patterns. We've got to stop calling things harm reduction. It's not harm proven, she says. Quote, can clean needles and access to clean water help prevent HIV and infections? Eleanor expects the BC government will blame pharmacies for this problem. 60 of 1,300 pharmacies have been implicated as being given kickbacks. Of course, we need to deal with kickbacks from pharmacies, she says, adding the pharmacies should not be blamed for the problem with the policy. Quote, even if every pharmacy is on the straight and narrow, it would still be a problem, she says. A huge problem. Quote, we're not talking about safe injection sites at all, says Eleanor. You're giving dope to people who are addicted, and they're not taking it. They're using it as a currency to buy street drugs and still put themselves at risk. My personal thoughts. The data is out there. Many of our people have died due to these unsafe injection sites. It is time to follow natural law, take them down completely in a full forensic audit. RCMP's discipline board refuses to step aside for referring to impudent Mounties as, quote, three amigos. Coquitlam Mounties face possible termination over alleged sexist and racist comments in private chat. CBC News, written by Jason Proctor, February 21st, 2025. The members of an RCMP disciplinary sorry, disciplinary tribunal tasked with hearing allegations of sexism and racism against a trio of Coquitlam Mounties. They say don't need to step aside for having referred to the men as the, quote, three amigos. A lawyer for Constables Philip Dick, Ian Sullivan, and Merced Mesbah had argued that by referring to his clients as the three amigos and a handful of emails and a file name, the three-member conduct board had tainted the proceedings with an appearance of, quote, real or perceived bias, close quote. But board chair Sarah Novell told the officers Friday that while the use of the term may have been, quote, inappropriate and regrettable, close quote, it was hardly grounds for recusal. Novell said the three amigos terms showed up on a file folder and about 10 administrative emails referring to that said folder. Something she said may have appeared, quote, unprofessional, close quote, but that would not lead a regular person to conclude that the board was biased against the three men. This decision means a code of conduct hearing against Dick, Mesbah, and Sullivan will now move ahead, with testimony slated for Monday from the whistleblower who launched the complaint in 2021. The RCMP wants all three Mounties fired for their alleged involvement in private chat group conversation, which officers are accused of bragging about, quote, tasering unarmed black people, close quote, calling a sexual assault investigation, quote, stupid, and mocking the body of a new female employee. Those allegations came to light last fall after the release of a search warrant detailing the circumstances which allegedly led the officers who sparked the investigation to complain to RCMP brass about what he saw as, quote, atrocious, close quote, and, quote, racist and horrible, close quote, activity by his colleagues. The court documents claim investigators also received 600,000 messages posted to the RCMP's internal mobile data chat logs, finding evidence of, quote, frequently offensive, close quote, usage by the three officers facing termination for, quote, homophobic and racist slurs, close quote. The reviewers had identified a variety of comments that were chauvinistic in nature with a strong air of superiority and include flippant or insulting remarks about clients, including objectifying women, supervisors, colleagues, policy, and the RCMP as whole, the search warrant said. The hearing against the men was supposed to have started last Monday, but was derailed by the last-minute challenge to the board's credibility, which arose after the disclosure of internal board documents referring to the case as the Amigos. A lawyer for the men claimed the use of the term gave rise to concerns the board viewed the men as friends who would stick together to protect each other despite facing individual accusations separate from each other. But Novell rejected those concerns, pointing to the fact that the board chose to close the internal documentation that gave rise to the three amigos' allegations as proof of a dedication to transparency and a lack of bias. According to the search warrant, the whistleblower, Constable Sam Soti, was posted to Coquitlam in 2019. Soti claimed there were two chat groups for the members of the Coquitlam detachment assigned to Port Coquitlam, one for all members of the watch and a second private group that began on WhatsApp, but then moved to Signal. He said he was told once he was, quote, worthy, close quote, of the private chat group. Quote, we'll add you to it, close quote. The officer claimed he was admitted to the private chat group in March of 2021, but left after a few days because of the constant negativity, he said. He was then accused of, quote, not being a team member, close quote, and encouraged to return. The warrant says that Sodi claimed that the outside of the private chat group members of the group also, quote, belittled indigenous people, talking about how they were stupid or drunk, and saying they have unfortunate bodies and all have fetal alcohol syndrome. According to the search warrant, Sodi complained to his superiors in May of 2021. Dick, Sullivan, and Mesbah have all denied the allegations against them. Personal thoughts. The truth will always prevail, and justice will have been served by the law of the land. Natural law. Closing. I am Cindy Lorraine Griggs of CLG Viewpoint. And I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for you being here today with me. If you feel compelled to share this forum, please do so. Today's Inspirational Soul of Light is a story. As I mentioned at the beginning of this segment, I woke up in the morning on Saturday, running in my mind all these words. I had to write them down. And I came up with this little story. It's my first little story that I've written. I hope you like the message in this story. For me, it was a divine message. And enjoy. Have a truly wonderful day and see you on Monday, February the 24th, 2025. Until we meet again. And so.